Hi, I'm Amanda Skelton, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and today I'd like to show you how to make this little birdhouse card. So in terms of technique and products, this is a really simple card to make. And what I wanted to do with this card is show you how you can use one of the free products in the current sale-a-bration catalogue. So this basically is pretty much using the free products, or the papers are the free products. So let me just show you the catalogue. So it is the Flight and Airy DSP. It is 12 sheets of 12 by 12 paper, and this is the card I took inspiration from in order to make this. So this is these papers are free with a £45 qualifying order, and these are the papers. So there's quite a lot of bird inspired ones, but also on the opposite sides there's some quite generic and plain patterns that you can use for anything else. So if you're not particularly bird oriented, you have got other options, but this I found was really good to do the little roof. This for the sky. I'm going to do a pink option today, but you've got all these birds. You can do fussy cutting, or you could just circle die one out. There's loads of lovely papers on here, loads of lovely ones. So and there's some nice backgrounds as well. So that's what we're going to use today. Okay. Excuse me. So what do we need? We need half a piece of A4 card. I've cut that lengthways, so what we're talking about there, that's just over about 4 1/16 by 11 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. So, but it's half a piece of A4 cut lengthways and then scored in half. And then unusually for me, I normally do cards with a border, so I normally sort of always offset it, so I've got a white border around. But on this one, I just felt as if it wanted to be the whole thing really, because it's meant to be like a scene, like from the garden or wherever. So actually that is then half the size again. So what did I say that was? 4 1/16 by 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/8 roughly. But you want it to line up to half of the size of your A4. Okay, then I've got another piece of patterned paper. This wants to measure 2 inches by 3 1/4 inches, and then I've got a little piece of the brown, so that looks like the little inside of the tree, the little birdhouse, and that is 1 1/2 by 1 1/2 inches square, and that's going to fit behind the little hole. And then I've got the roof, which is 3 inches by 1 3/4 inch high. The best way to do this is to cut a strip of this paper 1 3/4 inch across. Let me explain. So what I did, because I was preparing for a workshop and I needed to do multiple of these, what I did was I cut a strip of 1 3/4 inches, and then I marked 3 inches across the bottom, and then I halved it, and I did then offset it by half, and then did 3 inches across the top, and that's when you'll then get lots of triangles out of it, and there's hardly any waste. So that's what I did, which I found quite good. So that's what you want for that. And the other thing you'll need, well, a couple of other things you'll need. I'm using a small circular die, which is 1 inch diameter. That's going to cut out the aperture for the little birdhouse hole. And then I've got some linen thread, which I'm going to use for adding this little bow here, and I'm going to make my own bow. Bit rustic, but it's a bit different for me, so I thought I'd have a go at that. And then we're going to add this little gem, which is the Petal Pink and Pretty Peacock foiled gems. This actually goes with a different set, but it's really nice. It just sort of hides the bits of glued twine at the top. So that's what we'll use. As you can see, I need to redo that later. That'll keep me busy. So most of this is going to be about putting it together, but the first thing we'll do is we'll die cut a hole in this paper, and then we'll do away with this machine. So if you've got directional paper, and I have slightly, you want to do it sort of towards the top, not too close, because the roof that we're going to have is going to slightly overlap it a little bit, just so that you haven't got a hole. So you just want to put it towards the top, centered roughly, and then you can die cut that one. Ooh, stuck to there. And then we're done with that. So really easy. Okay, die cut that one. Keep hold of that if you want to. You might be able to use it for something else later. So I'm going to use my silicone sheet, which stops some glue sticking to everything. So I've decided I'm going to use, like I said, it's so pretty, but I'm going to use the reverse side of this, and I'm just going to add my double-sided tape. Okay, now the best way I find to line up something like this is to, well, first of all, I'm going to fold it in half, and then I can see where the actual top of the card is, because it's a lot easier to see than the score mark. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of hold it on its side, and I'm going to offer this to it so that it's stood up, so I know that the bottom edge is straight. And then I'm just going to sort of slide it, and I'm going to just attach it with my left side just so it keeps it in line. There you go. Not completely perfect, but pretty good. Pretty good on that one. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is add this little background here. So what I've done is I've raised this layer so that you get the depth to make it look like you're actually looking into a hollow. So this is what we're going to use this for. So you want to turn this one over. So that's going to be the side that's showing, because you want the brown to be showing. So on here, I'm just going to use these little tiny double-sided foam pads, and I'm just going to put one here, one here, and let's put one on each side. So that's big enough for that to go there. That's going to go that side. That's go there. And the reason I've done that is so that when you want to offer the little bird inside, you've got some gaps around here for him to fit in nicely. Okay, so you can take your, stick that one down. Take the bits off. Remember, you want the brown to be showing through. Okay, so I'm just going to roughly, so if it's covering the sticky dots, then it's going to be covering the whole. Okay, just press those so they're nicely firmly into place. Okay, right, and then what we can do is add some more foam pads. So what we're going to be doing now is raising the whole area up, but you don't want to add any to here because that's already raised a level, otherwise you're going to be doubling it up. We're going to be adding some more double-sided foam pads to this so that it raises it up to the same level. Okay, so I'm not going to stick that down quite yet. And then we're going to have our little roof as well. And again, we're going to add double-sided sticky tapes, foam pads to that. But what you're going to do is don't put it too close to the bottom edge, because like I said, that is going to overlap. So you just want to make sure that that can be flush. If you've got sticky pads in the way, it's going to raise it even more. So just go a little bit shy of the bottom edge. So I'm just going to do some around there. I'm just going to move that one up a little bit. There you go. So you can see I've just avoided that bottom edge a little bit there. Okay. So you want it to be sort of towards the bottom of the card. You want to have enough space that you can have your bow at the top. So you just want to, you can then take your bits off your sticky pads. So again, nothing is on here, only on the actual birdhouse part of it. And what I liked about this card is that, you know, you can earn a free item, and sometimes you might not have everything else that goes with that free item. A lot of the free items do have coordinating items in the mini catalogue. So I think there are some nice bird inspired sets. But I haven't got those, and I just thought it's quite nice to do something where, even if you've just got other papers that you want to use up, well, that's not very centered, is it? It's quite a good way of using up papers, and I just thought it'd be quite nice to do something where you think, well, I can earn this free product, but what am I going to do with it? So that's why I thought we would do this. And you can do the same with this. I also thought sort of this time of year, sort of becoming sort of towards spring, it's quite nice to have a bird inspired card as well. Oh, I wish I hadn't put so many sticky pads on now, it's taking me forever. Right, last one. Okay. And then you just want to overlap it a little bit. It doesn't have to be a massively amount, but you just want to centre it and just gently put it into place. Okay, so we have these papers and we have these birds. So some birds are larger than others. So there's a sheet with quite big birds in. That's not quite the right. But there's this paper as well, which has cute little birds. But I've taken mine from this, which is quite nice. And quite a lot of cards I've seen from this set, people have just sort of fussy cut a section. So you can see I've cut out lots of bits here where the birds are. So I'm going to do this bird because I know that he's going to be poking out from the bottom. So I know I don't need a whole bird for this one. So it just means that I don't have to waste so much card. And I'm just going to fussy cut him. And because you've got a colour behind, you want to make sure you don't get too much white around the edges, because it will show up because he's on a brown background. Alright, let's do his little beak. There you go. Okay, and I know that that's going to be just enough to poke him in there, so I don't have to worry about the fact it's not a whole bird, and you don't have to with this card, which is quite good. So you can see that I've been able to poke him down quite low because of where I've put those little sticky pads on the corners. Actually, that pink goes really nice with that, which I hadn't really thought about, but it looks good anyway. So just a little bit of tape, and I'm just going to put him just in there so he's looking out. Okay, right, and then the only thing left to do now is the bow at the top. So this can be a bit fiddly, but I did do this for all my ladies in the workshop, but you can use any other bow, it doesn't have to be this. But I just wanted to make a bow, so I'm just going to fold, actually probably a bit bigger than that. I'm just going to fold about 3 or 4 times. Scissors aren't very good, are they? So you can just see I've just folded it across itself, so it's basically a loop, and then I'm just going to fold it in half. Okay, and then I'm going to use some more twine, and I'm just going to make a little knot. And I'm going to do that about halfway along. Don't worry if it's not halfway, you can move it easily enough. So move it along a bit more. There you go, that's probably about right. Okay, tie it nice and tight. And then I'm going to want those 2 bits coming up the same way. So just manipulate it so that it's coming upwards like that. Right, I must have some sharper scissors in here somewhere. Let's try those. Oh, that's better. Okay. So you want to make sure, obviously, the bits are long enough. And I did use liquid glue, but for speed I'm going to use a glue dot, because otherwise you have to wait for it to dry. So I'm just going to put that glue dot on the very top of the, on there like that. And I'm also going to do another glue dot just at the top of the, and I'm just making it into a circle so it's not too wider an area. Okay. So if you don't have to worry about time, then you can use glue. But so then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull these fairly taut, so that they go onto that glue. She says. There you go. Then you can, I'm not going to use those scissors because they're awful. Basically snip that off. And then what I added was one of these little gems, and these are sticky behind it. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to add another glue dot onto the top of that because it doesn't feel secure. Again, I'm just going to put that into a little circle. And then I'm going to add one of these on top. So what colour? What colour do we think? I think the green. And these are sticky backed, as you can see, it's stuck to me there. And I'm going to use the bigger of the two because I've got a bit of a bigger gluey mess to hide, she says. There you go. So yeah, there's 2 sizes here, which are really nice. I think I used the smaller ones on that one. Yeah. So there you go. There you have a little tree house. Not tree house, a birdhouse even. A little birdhouse made pretty much just with papers and a little bit of ribbon if you want to. You can add as much as you want to it if you like. You can add a little bit of Winker Stella to make the bird a little bit sparkly, or to the flowers. I think I did add that onto one of those. Was it that one or was it that one? That one, I don't know, it's showing up. I don't know if you can see it slightly on the bird and slightly on the flowers. But there we have it. So that's using the free Flight and Airy papers, which are gorgeous. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, you can find my details. I'm on Facebook and Pinterest as Amanda's Crafted Cards, and you can find the products at www.amandascraftedcards.stampingup.net if you want to have a look at the free products. Don't forget, the free products are only available until the end of February. That's when the sale-a-bration event ends. There are lovely items in there for £45 or £90 orders. So I mean, it's the best time of the year in the Stampin' Up calendar, so definitely get your free products. Hope you've enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you want to, and I shall speak to you later. Take care. Bye bye.